Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Independence Day. So, Petra.
Yes, Oscar.
It's the 4th of July.
Yes, it is. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Happy 4th to you as well. So, independence and freedom. What is our response to that as CSLDallas? What do those words mean to us?
Well, freedom is at the heart of science of mind. It's at the heart of New Thought. It's at the very heart of what we teach, that we are free. There's no divine plan for our life specifically other than that we are divinely guided to be as free as we can be, to be the truth of our being, to express ourselves, to give of our gifts, and to enjoy life to the fullest. That freedom is our birthright, and it is what we are here to be. And we are free to choose. Right? We're free to choose to be whatever we want to be, live the kind of life that we want to live. Except that there's one ethical box in which that freedom lives. Do you know what that is?
Pray tell.
So the ethical box within which that freedom lives, do no harm. So spiritual freedom and spiritual independence is a profound recognition that while we are all here to express the fullest that we can, to give our gift, contribute to life in our own unique way, but it's not just, I can do anything I want. I don't care about you people. I'm just going to do what I want. Too bad, right? No, because the box is, but do no harm. Why? Because we're all one. So our freedom cannot be about being freedom over or licensed to, against, or around any others, because we're all one. And that which we do to another, we're actually doing to a part of ourselves. So freedom is profoundly significant to science of mind. Independence is deeply embedded in our consciousness, but it's not isolation, and it's not license.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're celebrating something really special when we celebrate 4th of July, not only in our country, but for ourselves spiritually.
Fantastic. Thank you, Petra.
Yay.
Thank you. So speaking of not being in isolation, you guys, welcome to CSLDallas, a center for spiritual living. We're all about being radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and transforming lives. So wherever you're watching, if you're a member of our community, know that we love you and we miss you. If you're a new-time person, welcome. It's so good to see you. Great to have you with us. So we're going to start the service off. We're going to get centered. We're going to get grounded with this incredible song, Spirit and I Are One. 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 Holy, 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 holy,
Please take a moment to go within with me. Spirit and I are one. I know this to be true. This is true always. And how great it is to have a moment right now, right here, to stand in that presence, to stand in that truth, that the power, the one power that is back of everything, I am made of the same substance as that power. How good it is to remember that that power is as close as the air we breathe at all times. How good it is to remind ourselves that that power is bigger than anything. That anything that feels impossible is possible in that power. There is no spot where that power is not. There is no place we can go that is outside of the sweep of that power. The one love, the one life, the one truth, the one reality. How good it is to remember that we are one. That Spirit and I are one. That power and I are one. Even in the apparent absence of that power, there is that power. So with deep gratitude for being able to come together today, for deep gratitude to be together with people in my community, deep gratitude to know that I am connected to everyone in this world at all times, no matter what. I breathe and I center and I trust and I know that all is truly well. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is.
Burning inside, the hurting and the suffering minds, creating anger, fear and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger and violence, clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with a chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories, overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear.
Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now.
think it's gonna take much longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question them, I getting stronger.
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Young Gandhi couldn't fathom how to deal with himself when he was thrown off the train and the pain that he felt. Mrs. Parks disrespected, dragged into jail because of the color of his skin, organs, tissues, and cells. One day, a young girl was shot on a bus by a man, a terrorist, part of the Taliban. He said, "On this land, you have no right to stand for what you believe in. Girls have no chance here." Well, now, that's just the story of three souls who shook our planet after being down on their knees. And it's not gonna stop. Those seeds have now become trees, and as human beings, we'll keep on digging till we find peace.
Yeah, the cynics always say that nothing ever changes. The human nature's bound to stay the same. But it couldn't be more plain that violence never pays, injustice never stays. It's bound to fade away. What if history awaits? What if today's the day? So let's all lead the way. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question them, I getting stronger.
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. Come on now. Longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question them, I get stronger.
We shall overcome.
Make a change, we gotta push much farther.
Someday.
'Cause I'm feeling it deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart.
I do believe.
I do believe.
I do believe.
We shall overcome someday.
Come on, put your hearts together. Here we go. Woo! I knew it. God had a plan for us to do it. To hit rock bottom before we rise and continue. To first learn greed before we learn to be human. To do wrong deeds before we learn to spread beauty. There's always a plan, and now it's time to take a stand for the right of the planet, every woman and man. We ain't gonna stop, only growing our demands for all beings to feel peace in every heart and land. Thank you, Lord, for the strength and the courage to bring us together and keep our souls nourished. These tough times will only drown in our chorus, cause we all believe that the truth is before us. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome this day. We pray for love to lead the way.
We shall overcome someday.
We pray for love to lead the way.
we shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome, and love shall lead the way. Love shall lead the way. So here we are in July. We are halfway through this year, 2020. We as a community decided to make our annual theme be Tip the Scales. We made a commitment. We made a declaration. We decided that we as a community, both individually and collectively, would take a stand and tip the scales for the sake of our own lives and for the sake of the collective life. So we're calling this month Tip the Scales 2.0, or Part 2. Here we've got another half of the year to go. And we're here to tip the scales towards good and love and peace and justice and compassion and inclusivity and joy. And it was so beautiful, if you were here on January 1st, to witness every single person in this sanctuary come and place a piece of stone, a white Jerusalem stone, in a really big scale that our ritual team built. And it took every single one of us to place our own piece into the side that said love, to tip the scales from fear, from hate, from division, all of that. And we did that. And boy, we didn't know what was about to happen after doing that. As we know, we then quickly moved into this thing called a global pandemic, where we're now focused on health and wellness. We're grieving lives lost, unemployment, going away, businesses just closing overnight, it seems, and how our essential workers, some that we might not have considered so essential or even more essential to ensure the health and the well-being and food stays on our table and all of that. And we're getting a sense for how we can together work for higher good through this global pandemic. We also, through this first half of the year, there became clear that there is, whether it was clear or not to everyone, there is this current reality of racism, and that's no longer being denied, that there are racial injustices still taking place, and profiling and prejudices, and that there is some police brutality still taking place, and there are black men and women being murdered, and that black lives do indeed matter. And there's a call for this. We are once again being faced with this reality of climate change, that the weather and natural disasters and all of this, it's still continuing to ramp up. And in the midst of it all, we're not able to physically connect, travel where we want to go, be with who we want to be, even physically mourn lives that have been lost together in a way that we've been used to. It just seems like, what is going on? And we're only halfway through this year, 2020, in this new decade. You know, several hundred years ago, there was a great experiment that was started, an experiment of personal freedom within a civil society in this country. And our highest hope for this experiment is called democracy. And democracy, if we look at the definition of it, it's a form of government, a governing way of doing things in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised directly by them or by their elected agents in this free electoral system. And I found that so fascinating that here we are celebrating freedom and independence and this great experiment in this democracy. And the supreme power is vested in the people. Well, freedom, I believe, will truly ring when we each take up the fact that that power is within each of us, that that power resides as each of us. And so we're once again faced with what is the highest hope that we could possibly have for this country that we live in? What is the highest hope that we have for this world that we each live in? Do we have a clear vision for that in our own hearts and in our own minds? What does it look like? And how can our faith, our philosophy, and our way of life, the science of mind, add to this highest hope and this vision? What do we have to contribute? I bring forward this quote that is about freedom from Ernest Holmes. He says, "We begin, one by one, to break the chains of human consciousness which binds us. It is absolutely necessary. We have got to absolutely break it and emancipate ourselves from it." "How are you going to do it?" he asked. "You are going to do it by the same means that brought about the condition, by thinking, because everything is produced by thought. You are going to do it by thinking into universal mind, that collective one mind, the truth about yourself. The highest truth is that we are power, spirit, substance. We are made in the image of God. So I believe that the one that binds us the most is really calling for something greater. It's been calling us the whole time. Our ancestors have been calling us forward. And those who have yet to come, they're calling us because the one that binds us the most is that many of us believe and have been taught that we are separate from God. Spirit, the thing itself, whatever we choose to call that which is greater than us, this higher power. And when any of us believe that we are separate from God, then it outpictures in really messy ways. Really messy. A way that we show up is in a way that we believe that I am separate from myself. And then I feel detached from myself. I don't feel loved enough by myself, through myself, as myself. And all of these things, when I feel separate from myself, I show up pretty messy. And then I feel separate from other people. That I am separate from every single person, or at least some of them, that I come in contact with in my life. And when I believe that I am separate from you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, it gets really messy. Last year, Peter and I went hiking in the mountains of Colorado. And while I was out there, I got the chance to be in an aspen grove again. I really love aspen groves. I could hear the continuous rustling of their leaves. It was like a symphony of voices calling. A symphony of voices calling throughout the decades. And I was walking among them and I was touching them and I was observing the bark and I was looking at the leaves and I could feel this like interdependence of life speaking through this aspen grove. Now, above the ground of an aspen grove, when you see aspen trees, every single one of them appear to be growing individually and separately. But below the ground, every single one of those aspen trees are interconnected through one set of roots, one living root system, one living organism, and one living community. And so what happens to one tree happens to all the aspens in the grove. Aspen trees are perhaps a really great example of the one living as the one and the many at the same time. There's actually an aspen grove in Utah. It's an 80,000-year-old aspen grove, and it looks like a forest, but it's actually one tree in essence. And according to scientists, this 107-acre aspen grove that spans in Utah has this same root system. And it's led to forming one of the oldest and largest living organisms to exist on Earth. It's in the Fish Lake National Forest in Utah, and it's named Pando. And that means to spread out. Latin for spread. There's some discussion about that aspen grove could also be rattling pretty hard and could be at the brink of not continuing to thrive. You see, the aspen grove figured it out. Nature figured it out in the way for these aspen groves on our planet to really thrive. Shared roots live longer. And that's a lesson for us all. I love in that song that we just experienced, "We Shall Overcome," that there's a line in it that says, "After I'm gone, the roots of the tree are strong." There have been many lives that are no longer here, but long after they're gone, they're helping to ensure that our roots are strong. And long after we're gone, this is our time, right here and right now, if not for ourselves, to plant those roots in our trees that'll be long continuing after we're gone. Ernest Holmes also has another incredible quote, and it's about freedom. He says, "We are bound into a supreme unity. We are tied into an immutable law of irrevocable cause and effect. That is the unity moving into action. Cause and effect is something that happens as a result of the use of the unity. Consequently, we are one even while we are many. And since each one of us is a part of the whole, if we seek to destroy each other, we only ultimately hurt ourselves. This is the great lesson of life." He says freedom then will come only to such a degree as we no longer do anything that hurts anyone. So he gives us this profound teaching, and there is something profound calling to each of us to realize this great lesson of life. And we each have a part and a role to play in ensuring everyone's freedom. Perhaps there's an area in this entire root system that you are passionate about. Maybe it's supporting and sustaining this planet. for the sake of all of us. Maybe it's ensuring that animals thrive and are considered, protected, and cared for. Perhaps it's women's rights, equality, education, health, protection, support of women on this planet. Maybe you have a passion for LGBTQIA rights and protections so that each of them can be free in their lives. Maybe you have a passion for racial justice, equity, dismantling institutions and systems that suppress Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Now is the time. Now is the time to tip the scales. It takes every single one of us. We can't be bystanders. So I invite you, as Lainey sings, to let this passion that is pulling you, this vision that is pulling you, to call you deeper to conviction, to commitment, to consciousness, to taking actions, for taking a stand, for speaking up, because truly, we don't need any more examples that something is calling us.
This is called Something's Calling Me by Jamie Lula. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. I feel like I'm walking on marbles. I can't still the earth beneath my feet. I've got my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Everybody say, something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. The long dark night, my soul, it wanders. I can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, call me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside these blues. before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Truth is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Thank you, Lainey. Thank you so much. Yeah, something is calling each of us. Deep is calling to deep. I actually believe that our founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, is calling us as well. It's been 60 years since he gave his last sermon. The Sermon by the Sea. I'm pulling out a few key things from this sermon that he gave at the sea for us to listen and to hear the vision calling us right now. He said, "Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his or her soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and an exalted human being. Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God or of man or of anything else, and you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as clouds before the sunlight. Find me 1,000 people who know that you and the world will be finished. How important it is that each one of us in our simple way shall live from God to God, with God, in God, to each other. That is why we are here. And we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision and an inspiration, something beyond a hope and a longing that the living Spirit shall through us walk anew into its own creation and in a new glory come with a new dawn. He tells each of us, he speaks to each of us that have studied, have practiced, have read, have discussed, has pondered, has questioned, has grappled with. He's talking to each of us when he says, you are Science of Mind. Our ministers, our teachers, our practitioners, our members. You find me 1,000 in the world who know what Science of Mind is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself to see a new world, a new heaven, and there is a cosmic power wrapped up in a cosmic consciousness and purposiveness that is equal to the vision which loses it. What I'm saying is this, he tells us. There is a law that backs up the vision, and the law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. There is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it. Or healing oneself of a pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond that, at the real feast at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, is the banquet hall of heaven. There is something beyond anything that you and I have touched. And I know, and I believe that there is something beyond anything that you and I have touched, lived, and experienced thus far. I believe, and Centers for Spiritual Living that practices and teaches this faith, this philosophy, this way of life called the science of mind, continues to hold a vision of a world that works for everyone, while a life that works for me takes place. So, today, I ask you, what is your highest hope, your highest vision for this country? What is your highest hope, your highest vision for this world of ours? Do you have a vision of it? If you don't, please get a vision of it and hold it. Know what it looks like. Know what it would feel like. Know what the experience would be like. We've got to imagine what it looks like. And we've got to imagine it and know it and feel it and hold it. Hold on to that rope and not let go, no matter what we see each day on the news, no matter how many videos we might watch that we don't want to watch anymore, no matter what is happening in our lives, another loved one lost, another job gone away. Whatever it is, we've got to hold on to that rope and imagine it, because Ernest Holmes tells us that true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is a fire from heaven. And I believe that we are the ones to get that vision, to know that vision, to hold that vision and not let it go. We are the ones. We are the ones. We're not the only ones, but we've got to do our part. We've got to tip the scales. This is the time. So hope remains, so that truth reigns. And that love is the one that leads the way. And then, as we hold that, our words, they must be made manifest. We only need 1,000. That's not many. And I know we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that realize that although the aspen trees may look really separate from each other, there's only one root system. And there's only one root system that we all belong to, and that is God, that is Spirit. Freedom is our divine birthright, and we have all come here at such a time as this to claim it, to name it, and to be that love. We know that a world does work for everyone. And so it is.
So I just invite you to take a breath, to feel yourself moved, empowered, Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Lainey and Oscar. Thank you to the band for participating in, celebrating 4th of July. So this is what we do. We come together and we celebrate and we learn and we grow and we support each other. So this is our opportunity to support the work that we do here at CSLDallas. We invite you to contribute freely, for it is what allows this teaching and this community to serve and to lift and for us to grow together. So there are many ways that you can give your gift. You can click the donate button on Facebook. You can text your gift once you've set it up. You can keep texting as often as you choose, or you can go to CSLDallas.org and you can click the donate button. Please donate freely. It really does make a difference in what we can do and how we can be together.
We're going to do a treatment. We're going to do that right now, all of us. Just come. Brad's going to play. I know, but it feels on. So we're going to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to get my notes.
Yeah. Come on, lady, stand up. It takes a village. Hold that vision. Hold that vision in your mind's eye and in your heart. Hold that which you know to be true of life, of love. This irresistible sweep that unabashedly gives to itself so fully and freely, so abundantly. Hold what you know to be true of God, of Spirit, of the one life, the one love, the one power. It is that which takes our breath away. It is that which breathes life into us at any moment's notice. It is that which is the ground of all being. It is that which is a peace which passes all understanding. And it is a love that is so powerful, so real, that everything in existence is included as it. This one life, this one power, this one presence knows how to be. It knows how to bring its greatest good forward. And as I know that God is, I know that I am that I am. I am this power. I am this peace. I am this love. I am this unabashed giving. I am this presence. And I know how to be that in all areas, in all situations, in all circumstances in my life, because no matter where I go, that divine oceanic substance is within me. And as I know this for myself, I know this for every single person in the sound of this voice. I know this for every single person collectively on this planet. We are the place. We are the God spot. We are the love spot. We are the peace spot. We are the abundant spot. We are the wholeness spot. We are the spot where God shows up and expresses as only each and every one of us can. And without that, this life is not complete. And so it's on this day where freedom is celebrated, where independence is honored, where we are free to be this divine presence, this individualized expression of this one. And so I speak the word for this country. I absolutely declare and claim that love is the greatest power that is moving each and every one of us in this country right here and right now. That we are each collectively, no matter what it might look like, we are bound together in this one life, and we are bringing that love forward. We are bringing that peace forward. We are bringing that justice forward. We are bringing that equity forward. We are bringing a life and a world that works for everyone. In each of our unique ways, we consciously do this in whatever way we're moved to do and to be. And because we consciously know that we are life itself, that we are not separate from anything or anyone, this truly is the year 2020, the clear vision where we see clearly that there's only one thing happening here, and that is spirit in action, love in action, God in action. And so we tip the scales. And I release this word into the universal law, knowing that the law, in full faith and trust, does its thing. It must be made manifest. And so I let it loose. I let it go. And so it is. Okay. Yes. Here you go, Oscar. So I also want to share that, like Peter was inviting us to give to the entire community, we're also having another opportunity for you to share and to give to others outside of our community. So this is the month where we have our Gooch Elementary Scholar Uniform Drive. It's a Dallas Independent School District school right here in our own backyard. We've been supporting this elementary school for over 14 years, and they really want our help to ensure that their scholars have uniforms for the school year. Our goal is 100 uniforms. They cost $50 each. And if you don't know, 90% of Gooch's scholars are part of families that live below the socioeconomic line. And so our community is passionate about ensuring that these scholars get this uniform. So you can go to Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you'll see on our CSLDallas page that there is a fundraising campaign going on right now. You can contribute right there. You can also go to our website, CSLDallas.org, and hit Donate Now. And then what you will see when you go to donate is there's a give to ... and there's a drop-down menu. And within that drop-down menu, there is Gooch Elementary Uniform Drive. So choose that, and we will assuredly know that that's what you're giving your money towards. So we invite you to do that as soon as possible so that we hit this goal early in July.
All right, so the other thing that's happening in July and August, starting this coming week, is a beautiful course called Dedicated to Destiny, a course in transformation. And so this is Angel Carlton's work that she has deeply understood how change and transformation happen in our lives, how it's called forward, and how we contribute and participate in it. So it's a 6-week course in which we learn to embrace change. We understand how to embrace life. It is a leading edge roadmap to navigate these revolutionary times in the world around us and in our own lives. You'll be uncovering insights and unfold the highest vision of yourself as you go through her 6-stage process of change and transformation. July and August. Don't miss it.
Awesome. We also have a new offering that I am super excited about. It's on Tuesday nights, and it's Ask Her Anything. Dr. Petra, we're going to get her on Facebook and Zoom live. You get to write in the chat and just ask her anything you want about current events, about politics, about science of mind. What is metaphysics? How do you build a meditation practice? I mean, anything you want to know, she's right there for you on Tuesday night, starting this Tuesday?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on Facebook Live and on Zoom. Don't miss it.
Great. And we have another great offering for you. It's Beyond the Law of Attraction. It's a 3-week workshop that Peter is doing. It starts Thursday night, July 9th. And it's 7 to 8:30 for 3 weeks based on a love offering. So she's going to guide you and to assure you that you can it's completely possible to create a better life for yourself, and it's absolutely possible to manifest the impossible, no matter what your circumstances are right now and what you're feeling. So you want to get in that Beyond the Law of Attraction workshop.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to let you know that our artist and almost practitioner Chris Miller is going to be working with me on this. He's writing a book about all of this, and so I've invited him to come and be a part of this class with me. So
Yay.
yeah, he's got some great ideas to add. So you're going to learn about the law of attraction in a way you've never heard it before.
So you guys stick around after the service. We got Q&A with our very own Reverend Karen, and we also have our licensed practitioners and spiritual coaches on standby on Zoom right now during the Q&A and 30 minutes after as well. We get a breakout room one-on-one session with a spiritual coach. So we're going to sing it out. We're going to dance it out with Grateful Together.
Yay.
We're so grateful you're with us today.
Yes.
Happy 4th.
In this moment, in this place, I see God in every face. Perfect love we gather round, standing here on holy ground. Grateful that we are together, grateful for all that we are. Grateful that we are together, grateful for the love and the joy that we share. Hold this moment, hold this space, for we are held in perfect grace. Standing together, side by side, feel the love getting open wide. Grateful that we are together, grateful for all that we are. Grateful that we are together.